News Talk 1070 KHMO presents On the Mark with Mark Hespin. News Talk 1070 KHMO presents On the Mark with Mark Hespin. On the Mark is powered by Kunis Country Honda Hyundai, your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area at 221 North 36th Street, Quincy. Faith, family, and giving back. That's Kunis Country. And now, here's Mark Hespin.
Good morning, Tri-States, and wherever you may be listening on the News Talk 1070 KHMO app. This is On the Mark. I am Mark Hespin. We are brought to you by Kunis Honda Hyundai, your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area, 221 North 36th Street in Quincy. You got to ask them about that lifetime powertrain warranty on new and used vehicles. Tell them Mark sent you. Welcome on into episode 205 of On the Mark here on News Talk 1070 KHMO on this October 7th. Broadcasting live from our KHMO studios here in Quincy at 24th and Broadway. I will say, it finally feels like a fall football weekend. Waking up, the temperature this morning as I'm getting into the truck was like in the high 40s, low 50s. It's hoodie weather. We got the Red River rivalry, say that 10 times fast in college football today, Texas, Oklahoma. It's a Bears victory Friday and Saturday as we celebrate finally getting a win for the first time in almost a calendar year. I'll just say this, the vibes are high for me and the On the Mark show as a whole on this Saturday, October 7th. So thank you so much for making me a part of your morning. As always, reach out to me through Twitter and Instagram. Just search at Mark Hespin, MarkHespen. You want to follow along with the show more closely, including our midweek updates and everything that I post throughout the week. Follow the show on Facebook. Search On the Mark KHMO on Facebook. Welcome on in. We got playoff baseball, talk about huge college football Saturday. We got to break down all of week 5 in the NFL. But first, let's get going. Hespin headline number 1.
Hespin's headlines on the Mark.
The Bears are back. Not really. What I really think the headline is for the Chicago Bears right now is they live to fight another day. There are 3 main pieces, right, when you're looking at the Chicago Bears as a whole. And that is like the general manager, Ryan Poles. That is your head coach, Matt Eberflus. And that is your quarterback, Justin Fields, right? That's the structure of an organization in the NFL. Those 3 things you have to feel really confident about, in lockstep about. Some teams, they have a great coach, a Bill Belichick. But they're unsure about the GM, Bill Belichick. Or they're unsure about the quarterback in Mac Jones. Some teams, they have all 3, like the Kansas City Chiefs, coach, quarterback, GM. You're set on. They're a Super Bowl contender. The Eagles, coach, quarterback, GM. Howie Roseman, the GM. You're set on. Nick Sirianni, the coach. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. You're set on all those things. Chicago Bears, their big 3 of Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and Justin Fields with a win on Thursday night, a very impressive 40-20 win. Impressive. Not saying like, oh, man, they looked like a Super Bowl contender, but impressive in that what they were dealing with coming off of letting up the big lead in the loss to the Broncos just 5 days earlier. Impressive in as far as offensive output so far for what we've seen from this team so far this year. And a defensive effort that at times made me want to rip my hair out. If you were following me on Twitter, you know I was tweeting over and over and over again, like, does this team even practice tackling? So a lot of bad tackling, but you're talking about missing so many people in the secondary. And the Bears are so beat up in the defensive secondary, which I think there's a reason why they sat some of those guys is because they weren't 100% healthy. It was a short week, and now they have 10 days to recover. So the Bears, GM, quarterback, and coach live to fight another day. They're fighting for their careers right now, and they live to fight another day. So let's take it one step at a time. The GM, well, he had a good day. Some of the people that he put some faith in with his draft picks and DJ Moore and those moves, they showed up for the Bears. They played really, really well. He also, credit to Ryan Poles, did not double down on a mistake. Chase Claypool, when they got him a year ago, I was a big proponent of give up a second-round pick for a guy with that much upside who had that big of a rookie year, who's not going to get re-signed with his own team, who's a little unhappy. Take him in, get your quarterback weapon, right? Chase Claypool has been a cancer in that locker room. He's been non-existent, and now he is absolutely, his career is on life support. And maybe McDaniels in Miami can make something out of Chase Claypool and turn him into something, but he's been childish. He's been immature. He's been a non-performer on and off the field. And getting him out of the building might be exactly what the Bears need. And credit to Ryan Poles for saying, hey, listen, I admit I wasted a high second-round pick on someone who we went in with all the upside. If he would have hit, no one would have cared. There's the second-round pick. If Chase Claypool would have turned into what we thought he'd be, like his rookie year, 8-9 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 65-plus catches, who cares that you gave up a second-round pick? But Ryan Poles did not double down on it. He didn't say, no, we have to make this work. I have to look good. It has to work. No. It didn't work. You gave him almost a calendar year. It didn't work, and he was causing huge issues in the locker room. Look how free this offense has played the last 2 weeks without Chase Claypool. They played like the guy who was just annoying all of them, who every time they get in the huddle and he didn't get a target or he didn't get a catch would cause a frustration. He's gone. Everyone's playing more freely. Justin Fields is playing world of different. You lose a weapon, and yet your quarterback starts playing way better. That just goes to show you that person, it's addition by subtraction. And credit for Ryan Poles for getting something. Heck, you got a 6th-round pick. You turned a 7th-round pick into a 6th-round pick. And you got rid of Chase Claypool. So that's huge. So Ryan Poles lives to fight another day. I'm high on Ryan Poles this morning. Let's go to another person I'm very high on this morning, and that's the quarterback Justin Fields. Justin Fields, 2 games in a row now, has shown you he's not the problem. Now, I knew Justin Fields wasn't the problem midway through this point last year when they turned the offense around and they let him just become a runner and use his skill. Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Justin Fields, with proper support and proper coaching, like Jalen Hurts, can put up numbers like an MVP quarterback in the NFL. We've seen it the last 2 weeks. 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, over almost 600 yards passing. I mean, making plays with his feet when he needs to. Dynamic quarterback play. Dynamic quarterback play. Now, there's still been some mistakes, and Justin Fields is going to make mistakes. He's one of those quarterbacks that you have to live with sometimes the really dumb fumble because you're going to get the crucial scramble on a 3rd and 10 when he gets a muddy pocket and squeaks out and all of a sudden runs for 15, 20 yards and extends the drives and goes on and put a score. That's what you get from Justin Fields. If Justin Fields can continue play like this, it doesn't have to be 4 touchdowns every game. But if Justin Fields can keep this pace up and this offensive production up and string together some wins here or there, he's guaranteeing that the Bears will stick with him. And that's all that he can do. I mean, that's the most important thing he can do. Because he is playing for his football career right now. And so far in the last 2 weeks, he's 2 for 2 for me saying to myself, I'm rolling with Justin Fields. I'm all in on Justin Fields another year of his rookie contract. You'll figure out if you extend him in year 5 next year. Again, people panic like, whoa, you'll miss Caleb Williams. If Justin Fields stinks next year, you go draft another quarterback. No, will he beat Caleb Williams? You miss out on maybe a generational prospect? Possibly. But there's no guarantee that Caleb Williams will be 100% hit. Trevor Lawrence, the last generational prospect, he's had a shaky NFL start to his career because bad organizations like the Bears don't just get saved all of a sudden by, transcendent quarterbacks. It's not always the way it works. And I'm at this point in time, I'm done talking about the Bears and Caleb Williams and the Bears and the quarterback of the future. I'm letting you all know right now, my listeners and my people who come here for my Bears takes, I am all in on, and I was this way to start the season, I'm all in on Justin Fields is going to start every game he's healthy, and this team he deserves his chance to play. No, trade him and go into tank mode. That's done. That's non-existent. That can't be on the table. Can't be on the table. Carolina's already in tank mode. You're going to have a high pick with Carolina anyways, all right? So if you're not happy with your quarterback the way the year ends, you're going to have a high pick, and they probably will end up with the number one pick, and they're not drafted Caleb Williams because they just drafted Bryce Young. They don't even have, you have their pick. So you're going to have a ton of flexibility in the draft no matter what, if the Bears win some games here and string together a win streak or not. I'm all in on Justin Fields absolutely continuing on. My guy Andy commenting on Facebook, sell high on Justin Fields. I think that's the wrong answer. The Bears haven't had good quarterback play consistently in my lifetime. If this kid has now shown you two really good, consistent football games in a row where he's playing at a Pro Bowl or higher level, I'm going to keep rolling with that and hope it keeps continuing, and then he earns the job. Financially, sticking with Justin Fields for another 2 years in his rookie deal makes sense anyway with where this Bears organization is. So I'm done talking about other quarterbacks on the Chicago Bears until it's for sure locked in that Justin Fields can't keep this consistency up, and the Bears are locked in with top picks, with absolute top picks. And then finally, Matt Eberflus. He's that third pillar, right? Coach, quarterback, and GM. I'm still out on Matt Eberflus. You can't lose 14 straight games and then win one and me be like, all right, I'm going to keep him as my coach. Now, Matt Eberflus has the highest mountain to climb, in my opinion, for we stick with Matt Eberflus and we keep him. It's not Justin Fields' job to win games. Justin Fields did enough against the Broncos last Sunday to win the game, and you lost because your head coach and your game plan and your coaching around getting a 21-point lead, and you can't hold it. It's the coaching staff's job to make sure you put your players in a position to hold on to that lead, to be aggressive, and to not lose it, right? So Matt Eberflus, in order for him to convince me that he stays and he keeps the job, this team has got to find a way to get back to, if not around 500. The Lions started 1-6 last year. Everyone was calling for Dan Campbell. Even I was like, maybe Dan Campbell's not the guy. And he got the Lions to right around 9-8, 8-9. Matt Eberflus has an opportunity to do that. The next two games are everything for the Chicago Bears. Listen to this. You have a 10-day break. 10-day break. Get healthy, game plan, and then you're home against bad defense Minnesota, and then you're home against the Vegas Raiders. Two extremely winnable games at home, extra time to prepare. Matt Eberflus can go a long way in saving his job. Justin Fields can go a long way in earning the job of the starting quarterback in the next contract for the Chicago Bears and not drafting a quarterback in the next 2 weeks. Crucial weeks for the Chicago Bears coming on up. All of that being said, there are two things I'd like to point out. Something I really loved about Justin Fields, and shout out to Dan Orlovsky on Twitter for tweeting this out, and he nailed it. 5 designed quarterback runs. That's positive for Luke Getsy. Design some runs for this kid. Just get him involved in it. Him taking hits and him picking up first downs with his feet seems to get him mentally in the game and reminding himself that it's okay to run. Like, you're an athlete. Be an athlete. And then he had 7 throwaways in the game to avoid a sack. Because a lot of people point out, it was 15 to 29. He only completed, like 50, just over 50% of his passes. Yeah, but the offensive line, while it played better, there were times where instead of taking the sack and putting himself in second and longs, threw the ball away. That is growth and maturity just as much as it is growth and maturity to find DJ Moore and to make the big plays, right? So I love that from Justin Fields. Loved it. Now, on the flip side, this is really bad. And this is where Matt Eberflus, again, you have 10 days to prepare for a elite Vikings offense at home. Teams are now converting 58.5% of the third downs against the Bears this season. Dead last by a lot. The Bears on third down are giving up 60% of third and longs. That is not sustainable. That is not fair to Justin Fields. It's not fair to that offense. It's not fair to the special teams. The defense has to play better, Matt Eberflus. It has to. Get your guys healthy. Create game plans to stop people on third down. That is your job. That is your job. 2 crucial games for my Chicago Bears coming on up in the next 2 weeks. Extra time to prepare. They cannot be flat against the Vikings. You cannot lay an egg against the Vikings. If you want Matt Eberflus to keep your job, you got to go 2-0. 2-0 in the next 2 is a crucial way for you to keep your job and to get the pressure off of people like me and the rest of the fan base from calling for your head. All right, you're listening on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. When we come back, a full breakdown of the rest of Week 5 in the NFL. We will have your lock of the week, your upset of the week. I love my 2 picks this week. Looking to go 2-0 for the first time. Don't go anywhere. We're live and local in America's News Talk 1070 KHMO, brought to you by Cunis Honda Hyundai.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Possibilities are all around us. Everywhere we look, we see opportunity in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world that we call home. Like transforming an old bus to feed hungry children, or providing life-saving equipment to those who need it most. From fighting disease to rebuilding schools, together we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at Rotary.org/action.
1070 KHMO.
Welcome on back to On the Mark here, News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app, brought to you by Cunis Honda Hyundai, your number 1 Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area. You got to ask about that no-fear lifetime powertrain warranty on new and used vehicles. Tell them Mark sent you. Shout out to the great people at Cunis Honda Hyundai. All right, let's jump into it. Hespin headline number 2.
Hespin's headlines on the Mark.
Let's break down Week 5 in the NFL and what a week it is looking to turn out to be. Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time here. We got the Jaguars and the Bills. The International Series continues. The Jaguars, technically the road team in this game. This one is at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That beautiful stadium that I've been to when I watched the Bears and the Raiders play there in London for the first Tottenham Hotspur game back in the fall of 2019. The Jaguars are technically the road team, even though they've been in London now for 2 weeks straight. How do you not ride with the Bills right now? They are high-flying offense. Listen, the Jaguars have put themselves in a little bit of a hole. They're not performing up to what we thought they would at this time. Buffalo's favored by 5.5. I'm not going to touch the line because I think it'll be a really close game, because Jacksonville has the advantage of being in London. The time change will have no effect on them. They will have gotten over the jet lag and everything by now. They've already won a game in London last week. I think this might be the best game of the weekend, and yet it's on at 8:30 in the morning on NFL Network. So the NFL doesn't really care if we see it or not, but it might be the best game of the weekend. I'm going to roll with the Bills because right now I'm not getting off the Josh Allen bandwagon. He's been playing lights-out football ever since that Week 1 debacle where he threw 3 interceptions in the loss against the Jets. Bills will move to 4-1. I think this will be close to the end. Josh Allen leads them on a game-winning field goal drive, 30-27. Both teams play well. Jaguars could take a lot of positives in a loss and get back to American soil. Texans at the Falcons. The Falcons are favored at home by 1.5 against the upstart Texans, who might be the hottest team in football. 2 straight wins for the Texans with C.J. Stroud looking absolutely like the best quarterback in his draft class by far, and maybe the best quarterback over the last two draft class with Kenny Pickett's struggles as well. And so I love the Houston Texans to win this game. And in fact, I love them so much, I'm officially taking the Texans as my upset of the week. Texans plus 1.5 points. I think I think it comes down to the fact that right now, DeMeco Ryans has this Texans team firing on all cylinders. They demolished a very good Steelers team last week. Now, I get it. That was at home. They're on the road. But this Atlanta Falcons team is coming back from England. There's going to be some jet lag. There's going to be some sloppiness. They haven't had a normal week. This Atlanta Falcons offense has a quarterback who they do not trust. And there are already mentions of Taylor Heineke, the backup to Desmond Ridder. And let's be honest, the Texans are flying high right now. They're putting up points. Their defense is playing really solid. I don't get why the Texans aren't. I thought this would have been even. The fact that I'm getting Texans at plus money, I think the Texans win. I think they win 27-17 at Atlanta, and they are my upset of the week. I'm flying high with C.J. Stroud right now. I told you over the summer and going into the draft, I told you my favorite quarterback in this year's draft was C.J. Stroud, more than Bryce Young, more than Anthony Richardson, more than Will Levis. He looks good. He looks really, really good. Panthers at the Lions, 0-4 Panthers at the 3-1 Lions. Detroit favored by 9.5. That's a lot. Carolina's not good, but Detroit seems to, in games like this, always give you a heart attack. I think the Lions will win. I'm staying away from the line, though. If you had to push me on it, I think it's going to be somewhere around, 24-17. I think the Panthers, listen, they absolutely need to get something going. I think they'll lean on Miles Sanders. The Lions look like they're going to be without Amon-Ra St. Brown, and maybe without Jahmyr Gibbs as well. So their offense will rely a heavy dose of David Montgomery, and also the Lions. The last time we saw them play Thursday, have a long break, and then come back, came out really sluggish, and were not well prepared, and dropped a game to Seattle. So I think that the Lions will win. They're the better team. They have more talent. They have the better quarterback right now. And even with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think they'll lean on Sam Laporta, lean on David Montgomery. Big game, lower scoring. Lions win late, 24-17. Panthers fall to 0-5. If you're a Panthers fan right now, the biggest thing you should be hoping for is that your quarterback's not getting hurt. You need to let Bryce Young play. You gotta keep him safe. Lean on the run game. Get him through games. Get him experience. Get him some easy completions and keep him upright for the love of all things holy. He's a small guy. When they drafted Bryce Young, we said whichever team drafts Bryce Young, they have to win within the strength of his rookie contract. It's a lot like Tua. Tua hasn't been signed yet. You have to win with Tua in that rookie contract. Why? Because as soon as you pay the undersized quarterback big money and then you can't afford the Tyreek Hills, you can't afford Jalen Waddle, you can't afford the good offensive line, they can't win. They can't win. Patrick Mahomes can overpay and he can win. Right? It's not happening with Bryce Young. It's not happening with Tua. So the most important thing for the Carolina Panthers is that he is healthy going into next year with a lot of experience under his belt, and then you build a team around him like the Dolphins have built around Tua and the Niners have built around Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, same guy. As soon as you have to pay Brock Purdy like the Giants had to pay with Daniel Jones, you're done. You're toast. So you have to win on that rookie contract. And so part of that what the Panthers have to do is keep him healthy. You cannot afford for him to have an injury where he misses the rest of this year, going into next year injured, coming off an injury, and he has no experience. He's basically restarting his rookie year. He's got to get experience. He's got to stay healthy. Lean on Miles Sanders. Lean on your run game and protect him, Panthers. Titans at the Colts. This is one of those I have no idea what to expect. I am 100% staying away from this game on the gambling side of it. If you had to ask me, the Titans have been so up and down. Blowout loss, blowout win, blowout loss. Ryan Tannehill has not looked good. 788 yards through 4 games, only 2 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. This feels, though, like one of those games where just as you start to trust the Colts and you doubt the Titans win. I'll take Tennessee in a close one, 24-21 on the road, squeak out a victory. Ugly game. Neither team plays great. Anthony Richardson maybe makes a rookie mistake late to help the Titans. I'll take the Titans. I don't trust that at all, but I'll take the Titans. Giants at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 12.5. For the Dolphins, this is one of those games where you have to go back to the drawing board after losing on the road to a divisional opponent in the Bills and say to yourself, okay, we got punched in the mouth. We can respond, though. I mean, let's be honest. They should win this game like they won the Denver Broncos game. The Giants are not good. They should put up 35-plus points on the Giants. So try to erase what just happened to you. Go back with the swagger and confidence you were going into the Broncos game with. Dust off that game plan and go out there and just torch the Giants because that's what you should do. And if the Dolphins somehow play poorly or they lose, God forbid, if you're a Dolphins fan, then we'll have real concerns about the Miami Dolphins. So it's a huge week for the Dolphins to temper concerns and to get back on the right track. And if you're the Giants, you know, you got videos on Twitter coming out of your head coach basically looking at your quarterback in disgust. I heard Colin Cowherd, who I trust is one of my favorite people to listen to, say that Brian Daboll should consider resigning. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's a crazy take. Like the Giants, you pay all this money to Daniel Jones. If you're not willing to either cut or trade Daniel Jones and let Brian Daboll get a quarterback, a real quarterback, if I was Brian Daboll, I would ask for a trade or resign too. He can get a job in the NFL. He doesn't need this. And listen, the offensive line play has been bad, and it's not all on Daniel Jones, but they're a mess right now. So a Giants coming on out and shocking the world, playing close or stealing a victory here would do a lot for that locker room and a lot for the mentality of that football team. Don't think it's going to happen, though. Miami's going to blow them out. They're going to run a track meet on them. It's going to look ugly in the heat for Daniel Jones. I'll take Miami 30-17 victory over the Giants. Saints, Patriots, this one in New England. It's even. I have the Patriots winning this game. Listen, when a solid team gets embarrassed, they bounce back. The Patriots will bounce back. They are not giving up that much to, like they did to the Cowboys at home to the New Orleans Saints. They're just not doing it. Saints are a different team on the road. Derek Carr looked awful last week. I don't think he's back to 100% healthy, and they're going to start him again this week. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But New England will have a legitimate game plan to score points, and defensively they'll show up. J.C. Jackson, getting him in the building. I think New England 20, Saints 13, ugly football game. I like the Patriots in this one. A lot of it just comes down to it's Bill Belichick, and he got embarrassed last week. My gut says he'll bounce back. Ravens at the Steelers. Baltimore favored by 4.5. History tells you the home underdog in this series, you should take them. That's what history tells you. History says they hate each other. This is the bloodiest rivalry in the NFL. Harbaugh, Tomlin, defense, Ravens, Steelers. History tells you, wait, one of the teams is an underdog at home? They're going to use that. They're going to fire each other up. They're going to come out. They're going to play explosive. I think all of that happens. I think the Steelers come out and they play much better football. I think they are explosive. But I'm still picking the Ravens. I like the Ravens. I would take the Steelers in the points because I think it's a 3-point game. I think the Ravens win 21, 20-17, something like that. I think it's low scoring. Offense is ugly. Defenses play well. But one team has Lamar Jackson. One team has Kenny Pickett. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson. I'll take the Ravens in what should be a great football game to watch, aesthetically fun. Black and blue, Steelers, Ravens. I don't think it's high scoring, and I think the Ravens will take care of business. They're the better football team right now, even though this game is on the road and the Steelers played poorly, and Tomlin will have them fired up, the underdogs and the Clips. They'll come out. I think they'll come out firing, but in the end, Matt Canada or Lamar Jackson? I'll roll with Lamar Jackson. Eagles, Rams. The Eagles 4-0, 4-point favorites in Los Angeles, taking on the Rams. I love the Eagles. You know I do. You know that I think the Eagles are the number one team in football. If you follow On the Mark on Facebook, search On the Mark KHM on Facebook. I put up my power rankings. I think the Rams are winning this game. I know I hate it. I hate myself for saying it. I hate it so much. I think the Rams are winning this game. I'm taking the Rams in an upset. Not my upset of the week. Sticking with the Texans, but I'll give you, I think the Rams are going to win. They get Cooper Kupp back, Puka Nacua. This team can score, and they can score quickly. And the Eagles' defense, while it has been very, very good, they've given up points. They give up 30-plus points to the Commanders. So on the road, long trip from Philly to Los Angeles, this Rams team is playing surprisingly well. I think this is the moment where we have to rethink the Rams and their trajectory for the year. Matt Stafford, big game from him. I think he keeps the turnovers down. I think it's a great game. I think it's going to be an all-time 30-27 fun back and forth. Philly, first loss of the year. It's nothing to panic about in Philly, but a long road trip, on the road, defense doesn't play great. Offense plays well enough to win. Defense doesn't. Matt Stafford gets his guy Cooper Kupp back, and all of a sudden the Rams are back to the greatest show on turf 2.0 that we saw when they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago and 22 years ago. I'm taking the Rams in a giant upset over the Eagles. And I love the Eagles. You know I love the Eagles. They're my number one team in football. But they're not going undefeated. This, I think, is a sleeper, sneaky win for the Rams. And you know I've been higher on the Rams than anyone else in the media. You're listening on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app, brought to you by Kunis Honda Hyundai. Going through Week 5 of NFL action. Bengals, Cardinals, must win for the Bengals. And if you're the Cardinals, you're doing a really good job now of not being embarrassing. And so you can start to convince yourself, if you are a Cardinals fan, that, hey, maybe Caleb Williams actually would want to play football here. And so if you're the Cardinals, I think at home against Cincinnati, if you can keep this game close, that's a positive. It's a real positive. But I like the Bengals. The Bengals, 1-3, they are desperate. They're 0-2 on the road. Joe Burrow feeling the pressure. Joey Cool says his calf feels the best it's felt all year. That still means it's not great, but that is a positive. I think it's low scoring. I think it's ugly, but I think Joe Burrow finds a way late, tied 17-17, late touchdown. Jamar Chase gets going. Big game from Chase, big game from Burrow. Bengals win 24-17 on the road against the Cardinals. Jets, Broncos. This is one of those games 5 weeks ago. We were like, ooh, can't you wait for Jets, Broncos? That's going to be so tasty. Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, revenge game. They're talking at each other. They're squawking. And now it's one of the ugliest games of the weekend. I want to pick the Jets. I really do. But Zach Wilson is so bad. He's so bad. A lot of people are higher on the Jets now because of that Sunday night performance. I think this is one of the worst games and weirdest games to try to predict. I'll take the Broncos. They're at home, Mile High. I don't know what else to say. I just don't know what else to say. One offense I kind of trust, the Broncos. One defense I trust in the Jets. Hard to travel to Denver. I just have zero faith in Zach Wilson. But this is a huge week. If the Jets can win this game and Zach Wilson plays well, he is fighting for his career, too, right now. Absolutely fighting for his career and to stay the backup of that team for Aaron Rodgers. So good luck to him. I'll take the Broncos, though. Chiefs, Vikings in Minnesota. I love the Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs won a very ugly, close game on Sunday Night Football in front of Taylor Swift and the whole nation, right? Patrick Mahomes has those games. Go and look at Patrick Mahomes' career. Twice a season, he has a weird, doesn't play well, turns it over too much. Andy Reid and the Chiefs will right this ship. This Vikings defense is terrible. This is a classic Patrick Mahomes. You're watching on Red Zone. 4 touchdown, 350-yard. Isaiah Pacheco breaks off a big run. The Vikings get overwhelmed. The defense for the Chiefs is very, very solid. I like the Chiefs 33-20 win in Minnesota. Calm the waters. Right the ship. I think absolutely the Chiefs bounce back from a stinker. I mean, he always, you know it, Andy, my guy listening on the Facebook Live. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever watched play. But yes, he has a stinker. It's okay. Tom Brady had stinkers. Peyton Manning had stinkers. You got stinkers. They still found a way to win the game. That's a credit to how good this Chiefs team is. They won't have 2 stinkers in a row. Minnesota's bad. They got bad vibes right now in Minnesota. I absolutely think it's going to be a fun game, tight early, and then the Vikings they'll break on defense, and Mahomes will go off. Cowboys, Niners, your Sunday Night Football. I only have 2 games left, and I haven't given you my lock of the week until right now. Put it on the books. The San Francisco 49ers -4 is my lock of the week. I have the Niners winning this game 30-20, fully dominating the Cowboys from start to finish. I think it's 30-10 midway through the third. Niners, they take their foot off the gas a little bit, run the ball, try to run clock. Cowboys get a score or 2 late, and I absolutely love the Niners in this game. I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't trust them at all. I certainly don't trust the Cowboys on the road in prime time without one of their star defensive players to handle that offense to San Francisco. Brock Purdy will not turn the ball over. Christian McCaffrey will have a big game, and Dak Prescott will look bad on national TV. Niners will cover the 4.5. They will win. Give me the Niners as my lock of the week. So just to recap, my upset of the week, Texans +1.5 against the Falcons. San Francisco is my lock of the week -4 at home, Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. Monday Night Football, Packers on the road against the Raiders. I like the Raiders in this game. They get Jimmy G back. The Packers now know no Bakhtiari for the rest of the year. Long layoff for the Packers. Long layoff after getting embarrassed on Thursday Night Football. And then you got to wait till Monday. I think that hurts them. I think they're sluggish. They're healthy, but they come out sluggish. The Raiders desperate at home Monday night, bright lights. I'll take the Raiders in a weird, ugly game because of the time off for the Packers. That's not good for your young quarterback. No David Bakhtiari. That offensive line looked not good against the Lions. The Raiders do have a defensive line that can get after the quarterback. I'll take the Raiders 20-17 victory at home over the Packers on Monday Night Football in a sloppy, ugly Jimmy G drive late field goal wins it for the Raiders. You're listening on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. When we come back, little college football talk, and I'll make my MLB, not necessarily predictions for the playoffs, but I'll put it this way, who I'm rooting for. We're live and local to America's News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. It's On the Mark, brought to you by Cunis Honda Hyundai.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
It's the Dana Show.
This is a recent development. And you know what else is a recent development? The entire breakdown of the family, the breakdown of respect for life, the breakdown of law and order, the breakdown of a morally based ethical society, a breakdown of respect, a breakdown overall of American society. That has changed.
The Dana Show.
Saturday nights on KHMO and on the KHMO mobile app.
You can live out
Technology forecast from the News Talk 1070 KHMO Weather Center. 62 today, under sunny skies, winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows dip down to about 38. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 72. Right now, 46.
You're listening on the Mark here on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app, brought to you by Cunis Honda Hyundai. Your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area, 221 North 36th Street in Quincy. You got to ask them about that lifetime powertrain warranty on new and used vehicles. Tell them Mark sent you. College football Saturday, the Red River rivalry. It's back. Texas, Oklahoma. That kicks off at 11 on ESPN. Texas favored by 5. I'm taking Texas in the points. You know me, hook 'em. I'm a Longhorns fan. This Texas team is real. 5-0, number 3 in the country. The Oklahoma's very good team. They've surprised me this year. What Brett Venables is doing with that program. 5-0, number 12 in the country. This should be a great game at the Texas State Fair. But I really do think this is the year that Texas is all the way back. And in a year like that, Texas wins this game, and they win it pretty handily. They got a better quarterback. Their defense is for real. And I can't wait to watch this game when we get off the air here in an hour from now. Other big games on this Saturday, Maryland at Ohio State, number 4 Ohio State. Listen, Maryland's 5-0. They have always played Ohio State well. This is a chance for Ohio State to kind of silence some other doubters as well after the big win against Notre Dame. Put a hurting on a Maryland team and show them you're still the class of the Big Ten. Mizzou, number 21, 5-0 in the country, hosting number 23 LSU. 3-2. That game on this airwaves on KHMO. As soon as we get off the air, we'll have the pregame for an hour and then the kickoff at 11. Mizzou has a chance to completely end LSU's season and derail everything that Brian Kelly's trying to build there. And I can't wait to watch it. I hope it happens. Go Mizzou. Mizzou plus 5.5 is the play. This Mizzou team is for real. Schrader, the running back, he's a very, very good. Burden the third, the wide receiver, is an elite weapon. Take Mizzou in the points. LSU is floundering right now. They're in a tailspin, and they're about to walk into the buzzsaw at Columbia. I love Mizzou in this game. Go Tigers. You know what I mean. Other good games, Alabama 4-1, number 11 at Texas A&M. Again, anytime that Saban and Jimbo get together, it's huge, especially if Saban can knock Jimbo down another peg. Number 20, Kentucky. They survived the Florida test, as I said last week. 5-0. They're at Georgia. Number 1, is Georgia for real? Can Kentucky upset the defending champions? That'll be one to watch in the later afternoon slate. And then, of course, you get Caleb Williams in the late slate, 9 o'clock against Arizona. When we come back, talk a little Major League Baseball. Oh, quickly, wait. I wanted to mention this in college football. The Big Ten just released its schedule for next year. The Big Ten getting Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC, and the SEC adding Texas and Oklahoma is exactly what college football needed. Too many weekends where Alabama's playing Middle Tennessee State. Next year, the schedule, there will still be moments where, Ohio State's playing Ball State to get an easy win. But every single weekend will have a huge game. Michigan at Oregon. USC at Wisconsin. UCLA at, Oregon or at Washington. There's big games. Texas at Alabama is going to happen. This is the schedule next year is great for us, the fans, because of the expansion. You lose the classic rivalries, but we gain great action every weekend. There's a marquee matchup. Quick break, come back, wrap up the show next.
Hi, this is Jason Bucks
From the Salvation Army, welcome to Heartbeat.
In ancient Jerusalem, a rabbi's teachings were called his yoke. His people sat under his teaching while, quote, clothing themselves in his words. In the Bible, in Matthew 11:29, Jesus tells his disciples, "Come unto me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." How good does that sound? Isn't that what so many of us want? Not just sleep, but rest for our souls, a place to put our burdens. Today, clothe yourself with Christ's teachings, begin to take on his character, and learn to trust him with your burdens.
For more episodes of Heartbeat, visit salvationarmyradio.org.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings on 1070 KHMO. 1070 KHMO.
Welcome on back to On the Mark here on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Thank you to Kunis Honda Hyundai for sponsoring On the Mark, episode 205 on this Saturday, October 7th. Before I let you go here, I just want to make mention you can follow the show on Facebook. Just search On the Mark KHMO on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Mark Hespen, MarkHespen. We have playoff baseball today. The divisional series get underway. Rangers, Orioles at noon. Listen, I'm rooting for the Orioles. How can you not? This is a franchise that's been beat up over the last couple of years. Rangers have had success recently. They spent all the big money. Orioles built their team the right way. A bunch of young guys. Bradish on the mound for them tonight. I'm rooting for the Orioles in this series. Twins, Astros, who do you think I'm rooting for? Go Twins. Still hate on the Astros. Verlander on the mound. That'll be a great game. That'll be one to watch. That starts at 3:45 local time. So in the AL, I'm rooting for an Orioles-Twins ALCS. In the NL, I'm rooting for the Phillies. The Phillies are so much fun to watch. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, they hit bombs. Trey Turner, Suarez versus Strider tonight in the pitching matchup. The Braves are the best team in baseball. They absolutely should win this series. This is going to be like the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. They hate each other. It's going to be so much fun to watch. 5 o'clock on TBS tonight. And then Diamondbacks, Dodgers. That game, listen, I like the Dodgers. I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I don't like the Dodgers, but I like watching Dodger playoff baseball. Kershaw on the mound. Enjoy it. See you next week.
Get set to follow